Sponsored by Flip Narrative. And remember, if you don't love your story, flip it. Let's answer some questions here. We got a question from Yvette. I have a question for the both of you. What other resellers impresses you by his/her work ethics? This is a good question. I never even got this question before from nobody, because I don't really watch too many resellers. So that's I'll let you tackle that one first if you want.
I'm gonna have to think about that because I only have so many hours in the day. As a YouTube content creator, if I watch somebody, like I want to watch their entire video from start to finish for obvious algorithm
helping them out, yeah.
Help my buddy out. Yeah, I might not comment, and they might not know I'm doing that, but I'm trying to do that to help them. So I can only watch so many, and I watch a lot of them for entertainment purposes too. So like eBay work ethic, I got to think about this. I really like Troy, who goes by Mountain Man Treasure, and I like him because he's a very kind individual, but working at a radio station in the mornings.
Okay.
He's in an area where it's not very easy to source. I think that's in the state of Montana where he's at. And so he's dealing with the same things that we're dealing with: parenthood, trying to pay off loans. He's working a job at a radio station. He has an amazing voice. You hear him, like, listen to him. He's got a great voice. And then is out reselling and then putting out a ton of YouTube content. That takes a lot of work. So
absolutely,
he's got a great work ethic because he's got a full-time store that he's trying to run. And then he's also dealing with all the other stuff, plus a job that we are trying to deal with. So I have a lot of respect for that. And
who is this? You said Mountain Man Treasure?
Mountain Man Treasure, yeah. His name is Troy. He's just a kind individual. So I really like watching him. All the YouTubers have a pretty decent work ethic, because I don't think viewers realize how much time goes into creating content and then editing and rendering videos. That takes a tremendous amount of time. And if you're like me, I'm basically doing it for free. I don't make any money on YouTube. My audience is small. So, but I fully believe in myself and my skill set, my ability to grow my audience. It's just some grow faster than others, and whatever. I don't get as much social currency as some of the other ones do, and that's okay.
Right.
But I really like Troy. I mean, you can't go wrong with most of them, though. I think Kat, the nurse flipper. I've never spoken to her. I've spoken to Troy, but I've never spoken to Kat. That's a busy woman too, creating all the content that she creates. And she's always got like a kid or two running around like behind her. It's like, I feel you. I know what you're going through. She's like trying to record video and kids in the background, and is doing a really good eBay business. So that's another thing too. It's like, how much eBay are you doing if you're doing all this YouTube? So I kind of like, but she's a big time seller too. So I like Kat. I like listening to Kat, and I like Troy. I think those are two pretty good choices. But I mean, I can't tell you any that I don't really like. I mean, I like watching all of them. Like, and whether I'm learning from them or not, I like their content for different reasons. I forgot to mention one more. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I got to throw. Do you know who Tesla Picker is?
Yeah, I've watched his stuff.
You guys are like, I'm like a college dropout with a college degree. You and him, he's running his eBay business, big time education. I think his wife is the same, big time, like highly educated, like really, really smart. And then there's me, like I got a BA in communication at the Ohio State University when they were handing out diplomas, back in the day, like all you had to do was have a pulse. So I'm like, I'm dumb. So
you got to give yourself some more credit.
Who is like really, really good at what he does too. So let's call it those three.
If I can think of some people that impress me work ethic wise, I gotta go with my boy Derek, ATL Flipper, because I actually know him, and I remember when he first wanted to get on YouTube, and he was asking me questions on how to just grow his channel and just put out content. Like, he was truly trying to figure out stuff from the ground level. And just seeing the improvements, like every video, every thumbnail, everything is improved. I gotta give him credit. And now he's doing stuff with his wife. And I think one good thing that he's doing that I know I'm not, he's involving his family, but it's entertaining, but it's not too much, like where it's like cringy, like, oh, I'm just trying to show my kids. Like, he's doing it in a tasteful, entertaining way. So I rock with Derek for that. And daily refinement in terms of work ethic, this guy he's like a robot. He's like a machine. And it's like watching his stuff does give me a little bit of anxiety because I'm one of those people. I'm super competitive. And when I start watching other people's stuff, I want to jump on and do my thing too.
I hear you.
Watching him, I'm like, you know what? He's got a team. He's got some people that's working for him. So our situation is just different. But
100%.
His work ethic, impeccable. Gotta give him some credit.
They just had a kid too. That model is challenging. You can't do it if you don't want employees. You know what I mean? So if you want to run it solo, that doing those numbers, I mean, it's possible, but I think he's going to like the outlets. He's getting a lot of mall brands and bottom dollar pricing with very good systems. Like even if you look at, even when you're selling a $7 pair of jeans, the measurements, the details in the listings, you know, that takes a lot of time, but he has really, really good systems put in place. And when you've been doing it for a while, you get into, you know, a good routine,
right?
And you just start killing it. So you're right. Don't compare yourself to that because it's really sort of a slightly different business model. Like I don't want any employees if I don't have to. Now, if I'm going to grow though, I'm going to get to a point where I can't keep throwing shoes in a box, you know, all day and doing shipping. You know what I mean? Like you have to, you're going to have to outsource some of that stuff. And I could ask my girlfriend, I could key people in if I wanted to. I want to know if I can do, you know, if I could get to a consistent $20,000 a month and handle all of it on my own. Like, can I do that? Like that would be a personal long-time goal for me. I did 100. And again, my margins are huge because I don't spend a ton in my business. My biggest problem is I just don't spend enough. So coronavirus year, I did 150,000 gross on eBay. Last year, I did 130,000 gross. But in 2021,
you said you don't spend enough, as in you don't spend enough money on inventory.
Correct. My cost of goods for $150,000 that I did in gross sales, I only spent $12,000 that year on cost of goods. That's all I spent. That's $1,000 a month. What? Think about that. And I know because your prices are way higher than mine.
What? That's amazing.
So it's like my numbers might not be that impressive. Like that's $12,000 a month in gross, but I only spent $1,000 a month to get there. So my margins are
insane.
That's the most important thing in your business. Like I didn't find a $6,000 item on an auction, but I spent, you know, $3,000 to get it. That's still an amazing return if you spent $3,000 and you sold it for $6,000.
Right.
But I'm a margin player. You know what I mean? So I'm still netting a good portion of what my overall sales are because I don't spend a ton. And you know, I run everything really, really thin, like my supplies and all that stuff. So
that's amazing.
I have to lean on that because if you watch Osborne to Thrift, if you watch Tim Osborne, like you'll quit. You're going to quit. The guy, do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
He had a 3-month period where he did $100,000 in gross revenue.
In those 3 months or each month? In
just this I haven't watched him in a while, but in a 3-month period, he hit $100,000 in gross sales and he has no employees. It's just him going to like 3 thrift stores, doing a couple online auctions.
Where does he live?
I want to say it's Idaho or Utah, or I don't know. It's somewhere.
Might be Utah. Utah got money.
Right. I mean, you know, like the competition might be a little bit less, but you still have to get your ASS out there and do the sourcing. So you got to give him credit. Yeah. If I was comparing me to him, like I would quit because those are unbelievable numbers. I mean, unbelievable. So yeah, I'm like, I got to latch on to what I know is unique about me. And that's margins are massive. They're massive.
That's amazing.
And I only work 20 to 25 hours on my eBay store. So even though I'm doing like reselling full time, or I say that, I'm really not. I'm doing part-time hours and I manage, I track very, very closely every minute I spend on my eBay store.
Wow.
Because I've never really wanted to, I don't want to work 40 to 50 hours on my eBay store. I want to be fluid in the event, you know, a disaster strikes. You know what I mean? I need to know that, like, I've got time to do other things. Cause you feel like you was losing, only for the winner. Who just to keep from